Okay, got a bunch more stuff here. Let's see. We got the new King Kong ET100. It actually comes in 3 versions. This one's Banggood sent to me. It's the ET100. I believe there's also a 115 and a 125. I'm not sure if those other two are going to be coming from Gearbest or not, but at least I can fly this one. I think this one's probably a better size for indoor flight. The other two are a little bit bigger. It might be better for outdoors. So you get this all this foam over here on this side and one battery. So they just give you a this is a 450, looks like a 2S GNB. The ones I have an XT30, but this one has a JST connector. And here's the drone itself. Cut these very nice prop protectors. They're supposed to be pretty strong. This looks a lot like the Blade Torrent, but I think it's about half the cost. And I think it's got some other components in there. These have some Sunny Sky motors, I believe. 1103. Yeah, they're 110370, 800 kV. It's kind of hard to read there. 1.9-inch props. Not too heavy, not too bad. So I'll have a full review on this coming up later, so stay tuned. Okay, you got 3 things here from AKK. We have the X2. I think this is it's a 5.8 GHz video transmitter with an MMCX connector. And it has, I believe, a variation of the TBS Smart Audio protocol, so you can configure this with your Betaflight configurator in the OSD. And here's what it looks like. There's the MMCX connector. It's a good connector there. Smaller than SMA, but much better than the micro FL connectors, which suck. And we have one connector on the bottom here. It looks like you have a little microphone for audio. You do have a push button and an LED if you want to do the traditional bands and channels with your one button. You can do that instead of the flight controller, but obviously you definitely want to use the flight controller because it's much easier. And there's just the other cables it comes with here, power, and this goes to probably your camera. And then this is the MMCX connector. And it looks like this is RPSMA. Okay, next up we have the AKK X5. So that's smart audio here as well. Power switchable VTX is a 20 by 20 size. Yeah, so it's definitely 20 by 20. You got a little antenna, whip antenna here with the micro FL connector. I have an LED on here, so I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of these. They definitely makes it easier to find your channel, but with smart audio you don't really need this, and it just adds weight and takes up additional space where it could be a lot slimmer. Get your single button here. What do we have? We have this, just a looks like this is going to be connections to your flight controller and your camera, and you have a connection here for power, and it looks like some sort of an adapter perhaps. I think this has a little LC filter here. Yeah, it's an LC filter. So if you want to connect it up to your quad using this LC filter, probably will reduce the video noise, but may or may not be necessary depending on what other components you've got in your system. Okay, this is the AKK F4. I think this is a flight controller. Looks like a flight controller. Yeah, typical stuff here. Little servo connectors, your servo pins, nylon standoffs for mounting it. And it's an F4 flight controller. I'm not seeing this configuration before. You got a Betaflight OSD, got a chip for black box data, and the gyro is the MPU 6000. I'm not really sure if this is a clone of something. It looks vaguely familiar, but at the same time, I'm not exactly sure what this is. But I'll put this in something and we'll fly it around soon. Okay, picked up some of these Gemfan 3035 bull-nose props here, and they're 3-bladed, a little bit less pitch than the DYS props. Those are 3045s, and they have a little bit of a curved paddle. So I think I've heard these a little bit more efficient, but not quite as much power. So I want to try these. These are obviously for the 11.0x size motors with the T-style prop connectors, the 2 screws, and the 1.5mm motor shaft. So yeah, I'll be trying these out. I'll compare them to some of the other props I've got, like the DYS and some other tree-related props as well. So okay, so this is the HMDVR-S. See, it's a super tiny little onboard DVR. So this is meant to be on the drone itself, and it comes in a little plastic case, but I might remove that to put it onto a micro. You can see it's about the size of my finger there, the tip of my finger. So you can connect this into your video system and record your FPV video directly to an SD card. Kind of like the DTX-03 that had the sort of separate video transmitter and DVR together. Well, this is just the DVR portion, not the video transmitter, so I think you can be a little more flexible in placing this in your drone. Okay, I picked up one of these M8 2.1mm lenses. So if you're looking for a replacement lens for your micro swift 2.1mm lens, if you want to go from 2.3 to 2.1, this fits. It's a little bit different than the RunCam version, but it's half the price. It's at $5 instead of $10. So if you're looking for an alternative lens, this is probably one to get in. You can see it's IR blocked as well, so what you need. Okay, I got a couple of these new FPV cameras, or micro cameras. So they're called the MS 1672 5 to 36 volts. One's a 2.3 and one's a 2.1mm lens. I believe this is the one that comes on the Diatone GTR90. Okay, so here's what it looks like, and it's branded Mista, but yeah, I think this looks pretty much like the one that's on the GTR90, which is, that image, it looks very much like a micro swift, so, and it's got the same connectors in the back here. So I think I pretty much know what to expect from this image, but we'll do a separate video on this one just so everyone knows what to expect when you get this, and I'll show you the difference between the 2.1 and the 2.3mm lens. Okay, I requested this as a request from a subscriber. Someone was asking for a review on the purple 150 frame. So this is, I think, a clone of the Japalura frame, I believe. It's a frame for 3-inch props, but it has the aluminum side cage here, and so it's going to be pretty, I guess, kind of low profile. I think it's meant for batteries being mounted on the bottom, but yeah, it comes in a bunch of parts. You can see aluminum parts here. It's definitely battery mounted on the bottom. It's got a little battery protection plate there saying they spelled purple wrong. That's kind of funny. And yeah, I'm not gonna take all the parts out, but it looks like a little PDB there. But yeah, I'll have a frame review on this later. Okay, so these are the RacerStar VR-2406S 2600 kV motors. They're the Fire Edition. I think they come in Fire Red, and I believe the other one's green, I think. I didn't like that color, so it's like, I didn't want to look at that one. Okay, so here's what it looks like. RacerStar branded. Obviously, it's a big motor. Yeah, so, but it feels fairly smooth. I mean, I think for each generation of RacerStar motors that keep coming out, their bearings do get better. Obviously, they've had some issues with quality control because it's cheap. It's a pretty cheap motor. I think 4 of these is like $30 or something like that. So, let's see if this does have a hollow shaft. It does have a hollow shaft. And it has a C-clip on the bottom, not a set screw. And you can see the magnets are a little bit further away from the winding or the stator than on some higher end motors. But again, these are some cheap motors. And I think this is not anodized, it's just painted on. So I think if you crash and chip the paint, it will look pretty bad. But if you're looking for some cheap powerful motors, we'll be testing these out, see how good they are. Thinking maybe putting this on the what was that clone of something, the Talon, I think it's called the Race 1 or something like that. Maybe put it on that one. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think this should go on, and I'll try and make that happen for a future video. Okay, so these are the real ACC clones of the AXI antenna. They call the UX2, 60 millimeters. I think it's the length of the antenna. So it's kind of a stubby antenna. And this is RPSMA. Kind of short. It's actually shorter than the real AXI antenna, but it's supposed to be, I don't know what the inside looks like. I don't even know what the real AXI antenna looks like on the inside, but it's got the protected cap here. Hopefully whatever they're using to glue this on will stay on in a crash. So I'm not really sure if I'll use this on a drone. I might just use it as a reception antenna, but if you guys are curious what this looks like, that's what it is, and I will do a review on this. I'll compare it to the real AXI, of course, and some other antennas in a kind of future video. Okay, so this is supposed to be the Emax Mini Magnum. So this is going to be for your micro drones, 20x20 flight stack. It's F3, a built-in OSD. I'm not sure if it's Betaflight OSD or not. Got a 3 amp, 5 volt BEC, that's good. Yeah, MPU 6000, also that's good. And we have the ESCs here are 12 amps continuous. I think they burst to 15. 2 to 4S LiPo. It's all pretty decent components here. D-Shot 600 probably. And I wish it was an F4, not an F3, but other than that, everything looks pretty nice. So this comes in some pretty nice packaging. Got a little JST connector, and it's not soldered on. And then they have a little sticker on here showing you where you're supposed to solder on your battery connector, in case anyone didn't know. And this does come with a buzzer on board. It's already pre-soldered. That's kind of nice. I know a lot of people appreciate that, but yeah, it's a typical F3 flight controller board and ESC combo. Looks like it's connected here with some pins. And yeah, I'm not sure how many, I think it looks like about maybe 6 pins there. Kind of similar to the way the HGLRC stacks are built. And these are fairly reasonably priced. I think they're about $40. So if you're looking for an F3, not an F4, then I definitely would check this one out. But I'll do a review video on this one as well. Put this in something and see how this flies. Okay, so this is the Maytech F405 Mini flight controller. It's an F4 CPU with a 32K gyro. It's like one, I think it's like the ICM 20608 or something like that. Betaflight OSD, 32 megs of flash data for black box, 20 by 20 mounting. You can see here it comes with these little rubber or silicone grommets. So they do that because these 32K gyros are very sensitive to motor vibrations. So the flight controller has to be vibration dampened. And here's what the little rubber grommets look like. And this comes with a ribbon cable that goes to probably a 4-in-1 ESC. And I don't actually have that ESC. I'm not really sure which one this connects to. I might have to take a look at that later, but you can see this is where the ribbon cable connects to. So I guess I'm going to have to get that if I want to use this, or can I use some solder points here? Yeah, I think I have, yeah, there's some solder points for the motor signal wires. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So if I don't want to use the ribbon cable, I could connect this to just a regular 4-in-1 ESC without having to use ribbon cable. So that's kind of nice. But yeah, we have a Betaflight OSD here. I think this is the chip for the black box data, so it's a little bit lower profile for the smaller board. Obviously 20 by 20. Looks like you have a boot button here, USB port, large F4 chip, of course. So this is looks like it's going to be pretty good. I think obviously we're going to be using the soft mountings, of course, because these 32K gyros are very sensitive to vibration. So if you have some low quality motors or a frame that vibrates a lot, I would not get this flight controller. If you have a really high-end setup and everything is soft mounted and vibration free, then this one might be worth looking into. Okay, so this is the Transtech Lightning frame. I think it's a 215mm frame. Yeah, it's 215, and it comes disassembled, obviously. So not a lot of documentation here, but it looks like this is how you put it together. You got 4 separate arms, and you have 2 brace plates, and then you have 2 aluminum side plates and a little top plate there. So it's a pretty simple design. I think this is pretty light. This is for not for like a super ultra light frame, but it's definitely on the lighter side. So I probably got to put some 2205 motors on here, some of the lighter ones. So I took the one of these arms out of here, and I didn't look at the other ones, but this one is kind of messed up, especially for the cost of this frame. I believe I saw some earlier reviews where these were all beveled, but it doesn't look like they did that on this one. It's very sharp. I mean, the carbon looks like it's very stiff, but yeah, it looks like it's cut right, but they didn't do the finishing work on this one. Either that, they just forgot. So it's a little disappointing. So I'm going to have to do that myself. Yeah, it looks like all of the arms are like that. So yeah, looks like I got a little extra work to do. So it's supposed to be a pretty nice frame. So hopefully cleaning it up will make it look nicer, because it looks pretty terrible right now. And these are the brace plates. This looks nice and clean, so I'm not sure what happened with the arms. And the aluminum pieces look nice, obviously. It's obviously all nice and finished. Okay, so I picked up a set of these T-Motor F43s. These are the 2400 kV versions. So here's a quick look at the motor itself. Hollow shaft on this side. On this side we have a C-clip, no set screw. And you can see the, obviously T-Motors are high quality stuff here, but the magnets look curved and they're very close to the stator, so should have pretty good power. Also the bearings sound very smooth as well. The motor wires are not that long, but it is 18 gauge motor wire, so pretty thick motor wire. And you get some spare C-clips and mounting screws, as well as the lock nut. Okay, so I picked up this FPV camera and video transmitter combo. This is the TurboWing Cyclops 3. This actually has a DVR on the back here, behind the camera. Records 720p video directly from the camera to the microSD card. It's better than what the Yixing DVR-03 or DTX-03 does. That just records the analog signal. This actually records an HD signal from the camera, so it's kind of like a 808 camera, one of those little micro cameras, but it records it there and it sends the FPV signal to the video transmitter here. This is a bundle, and this is a 25 and 200 milliwatt video transmitter. So this is going to bring 720p HD video to one of my micros. I'm not sure which one, but I'll be building this out, and we'll see what the video looks like. Okay, I got another one of these micro CCD cameras here. This is Furby model. Kind of looks like the ELF, and yeah, very similar in terms of the casing. The lens looks a little bit different. This is a 2.1mm lens. Looks a little bit, the focal length looks a little bit longer. So it might not be an exact clone, but it looks really similar. It has the same pinouts as a MicroSwift. And here are the cables that it comes with. So not a whole lot of cables. The screws are the same as the ones that come with the ELF. These are the self-threading screws. They're not M2 exactly. So I think this is similar, very similar to the ELF camera. Okay, I picked up a GTR-90 frame kit. This is a Diatone GTR-90 frame. You guys know that I've already got one of these pre-built, but this is the spare frame kit. It comes with prop guards, props, and all the little accessories here. I'm actually going to do a video on the frame itself because they got some pretty innovative stuff going on in here in terms of the frames. So hopefully you guys will see that video and see what kind of frames we should be looking out for in 2018. Because this is the way that the frame should be coming out. All the stuff we see in 2017 is just obsolete, I think, after you've seen this frame and how it's been, how they designed it. So we'll have a video on this one pretty soon. Okay, so we got a pretty big box here. This is another drone from Drocon. They sell stuff on Amazon. It's a Traveler U18A Plus W. I think it's the Wi-Fi FPV drone. Pretty big, you can see. Big box, but it's still brushed motors, 15 minutes of flight time, Wi-Fi FP, it's got altitude hold. I'm going to just grab this stuff out of the box here and we'll take a quick look at it. Okay, so I got the drone out of the box. It's actually pretty big. It's got these prop protectors, pretty big props here. They look like about 5.5 to 6 inches, but these are definitely brushed motors. The organization of the other parts here are pretty nice. You got this template here for the transmitter, explains all the different functions. That's pretty cool. Battery there, some landing feet. Apparently this comes with some kind of a 720p camera with a microSD card. It looks like it's also transmitting via Wi-Fi. That's probably the Wi-Fi FPV. You got some spare props and battery charger. And it looks like it comes with a pretty decent manual too. So I'll do a quick review of this pretty soon. Let me know if you guys have any questions about this and I'll answer them in the review.